ShutterBug, written by Iriley, read to you by Evie is Evil. Chapter 35. Author's Notes. Another short one. Also, next week's chapter will be a little late. I'm going on vacation and won't have the internet to post. Reader's Notes, I don't know why I read these sometimes. Because that's just going to confuse y'all. Because it's meant for the past reader. And on with the story. Can't you just call him? Wade shouts, but Matt just shakes his head. He doesn't have his phone, remember? And it's not like he's going to walk into the Riddler's bar to get it back. Wade rolls over on the couch. He asked us to go out as Spider-Man while he was gone, too. Dibs! Matt watches as Wade pops back up, before beelining it to Peter's room. A few thuds later, and Wade is pulling the mask on. How do I look? He strikes a pose, and Matt stares at him. They stand in silence for a bit longer, before Wade pivots on his heel and starts to the window. I'm off! And Matt can only shake his head. With Peter. Sighing as he sits on a step, Peter glances over at Diana and Zeus, who are in a heated conversation. Peter scratches behind Cat Jason's ear and waits. I'm not even supposed to be here. He shakes his head, but his attention is drawn away when Cat Jason runs off into a side hall. Wait! Peter chases after him, but sees the black cat rubbing against a tall man with short hair, a golden spiked headpiece poking out of his hair. Sorry about him. I wasn't expecting him to run off, so I lost my grip on the leash. Peter apologizes, as he grabs said leash from the floor. Who are you, boy? My name's Peter. The man smiles and nods. Seeing Peter's unsaid question, he introduces himself as well. Well met. My name is Helios. Peter thinks back to when he did a research project on the Greek gods. The sun god? The man nods, and Peter understands why the cats would like him. Now, if you don't mind my asking, how did you come to be here? Peter looks back over to where he can still hear muffled shouts. Kidnapped? I think? By accident, for sure. Helios glances around the corner and makes a noise in recognition. Got it. Peter's not sure what he has, but the man makes his way towards the ongoing debate and clears his throat, snapping the two out of their trance. In case you forgot, you dragged a mortal into this mess and into Olympus as well. The two turn to look at Peter, who had followed a bit behind. Giving a small wave, Peter watches as Diana puts her hand to her head. Zeus, on the other hand, bellows out a laugh. My, I haven't even seen you. You're too skinny, boy. We must have a feast. Bruce gives an awkward laugh as Diana sighs. If he ate the food here, he'd become immortal. The large man laughs again, but turns back to Peter. Who wouldn't want to be immortal? Peter speaks up. I wouldn't. This surprises the god. Oh? Peter nods with a sad smile. I have people waiting for me after all. The older man nods and turns back to Diana. We'll feast another time, then. He summons the Pegasus from before and nods to the chariot float. Take them home! Diana jumps onto the float and helps pull Peter up. Don't forget this little guy. Helios holds up Cat Jason, and Peter carefully takes him. Thank you! Helios sends him a smile and waves as the float is pulled off the ground. Peter waves as he's pulled away. He sees Diana send a small wave as well, before turning to sit down. Peter soon follows suit. Sorry you had to deal with that. I'm afraid I'm not in a position to defy the gods. Peter sends her a smile. Not many people are. They laugh a bit, but share the rest of the ride in silence. Looking over the side, Peter sees nothing but water. Further down, he can see the start of land. Just not the land he was expecting. I don't think this is Washington. Diana looks over the side and sighs. This, she points as they get closer, is the mascara, Paradise Island, a place where men cannot step foot. She glances at Peter, who gives her a worried look. You will be fine. I'll explain the situation to my mother, the ruler of this land. Doesn't that mean you're a princess? She thinks for a moment, but nods. Huh. With Jason. Unable to do anything to help Peter, Jason took to the street as Red Hood. He tried to work on his bike, but he still couldn't get the engine to work, so he settled for leaping between buildings. He nearly fell off a shorter building when he saw Spider-Man leap from a taller one and rolling into the next. Is Peter back? But that wouldn't make any sense. How could he when Diana wasn't back yet? Sitting on the edge of the building he almost fell off of, Jason watches as Spider-Man disappears from the horizon. Peter's not Spider-Man. Once he said it, he types as much in the group chat they add for patrols. Glowstick. I told you! Said he's been doing it for 5 years. Tim. How do you know? Nikki 6. Just saw Spider-Man running on the rooftops. Purple highlighter. You don't have that much to begin with, to be honest. Mute button. Any update on Peter? Glute Master. None, not with WW either. Bat Sun. He's with Diana, so he should be fine. The Bat. He could have had his friends go out as Spider-Man. Don't rule out all possibilities. They all send back okays and thumbs ups. B's got a point. Jason sighs when he hears a car alarm in the distance. Time to get back to work. With Ed. Wiping down the counter, he pauses at the phone sitting on the counter. Someone had turned it in earlier that night. Surprisingly, considering the usual crowd. It seemed high-tech, but no one could get into it. Tapping the screen to turn it on, Ed can see a picture of a black cat with green eyes and a white streak of fur on its head. In the corner of the image, Ed can see the reflection of a boy in a mirror. Squinting, Ed tries to place the face. Isn't that... what's his name? Pete? No. Peta? Whatever it is. He thinks back to when he came in with Celine, and his rush to get out when Ozzy came in. Must have dropped it in his rush. He shrugs and moves the phone to a shelf below the bar top, before continuing to wipe the bar down. Once he's done with the towel, Ed tosses it into the trash can. Unknown to him, the towel had knocked the phone into the bin as well. Walking back with a new trash bag, Ed changes out the trash before bringing the old bag to the back entrance, tossing the bag into the dumpster. With Peter. After getting off the float, Peter was surrounded by women holding spears at his throat. Another round of women aiming at him with arrows. Thankfully, Diana stepped in their way and calmed them down. A lady with long blonde hair greets her and introduces herself as Hippitalia, Diana's mother. There wasn't much fanfare, but they had let Diana and Peter stay on the island while they waited to be picked up. Diana had said she made a call once they made it in range. Watching as a group of women train, Peter waits for whatever Diana had called for. Would you care for a match? Peter looks up at Diana. There's no way I could keep up with you. He laughs a bit. He'd have to hold back enough so she doesn't get suspicious as to why he can do what most can't. I'll go easy on you, promise. With not much of a choice, Peter stands and follows Diana to the training field, the other girls stepping out of the way. Are you ready? She calls out from across from Peter. Not in the slightest! She laughs, but stands in a loose position, and he mimics it. She takes that as a ready, since she lunges forward to swipe at him, but he's able to pull back just in time, causing her to laugh. They continue this for a bit longer, while Peter gains enough room to switch tactics. Taking a step forward and ducking under Diana's outstretched arm, Peter moves to punch her side. She moves her center of balance over, making it easier for her to dodge and pull his fist forward, tripping him when he steps forward to compensate his thrown balance. Landing on his stomach, he rolls onto his back, taking Diana's hand when it's offered. Peter is pulled up to his feet. Looks like our ride is here. Peter follows where Diana's looking, seeing a jet land on the ground outside the training area, and Peter sees Clark walk off of it in his Superman suit. Pick up? Diana smiles and nods, before excusing herself to say goodbye to her mother. Been an eventful few days, huh? Peter looks at the man. You could say that again. Clark chuckles and nods to the jet. Want to get seated? Diana's coming back over, too. Peter nods and climbs on, taking his seat and watching as Diana does the same. Clark sitting in the pilot seat before starting the journey home. Cat Jason spreads out on the seat next to him, yawning before curling up again to sleep. Peter follows suit and closes his eyes. Time to go home. And that is the end of Chapter 35. There is no author's notes, so reader's notes from me. I don't have much, but where it's in the chat section, where there's Nikki6, I'm reading this without any context to any other chapters besides the one I'm reading. So from context clues, I'm assuming that's Jason, but I don't get the reason for that name, so it could be Celine or somebody else that I don't know. I said it with a Jason voice. I'm hoping I was correct. You will have to correct me if it is not Jason. Jason ? Is Nikki6. Yeah. Anyways. Thank you guys for listening, and bye!